All right, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Super here, and welcome back to another video. This was going to be talking pretty much in general about like fighting games moving forward, looking at the future. Of course, Mortal Kombat or whatever NetherRealm brings is primarily what I'm known for and primarily what you guys want to see me play. That's the most important one, obviously. But just in general, man, I was thinking about it yesterday and I posted it on Twitter. I'm like, the fighting game community has a bright future for the next couple of years, and we should all be really excited. Truthfully, I was a little bit disappointed in some of the reaction from fans of Mortal Kombat when Street Fighter was announced. Instead of like being happy that there's a new Street Fighter game, or if you don't care, you don't care. But after the Street Fighter game was announced, they were like mad at NetherRealm. And NetherRealm has nothing to do with it. That's like the kid minding his own business and somebody comes and pushes him, say, hey, like trying to start problems. And one thing that I was disappointed about is, let the Street Fighter people, let people who like Street Fighter have their day. You know what I mean? We'll have our day whenever NetherRealm announces a new game. And I'm going to be talking about MK12 in a little bit. But that's something that I was really disappointed about because, I'm a fan of a lot of different fighting games. Growing up, Street Fighter being one of them. I just didn't really like Street Fighter 5 too much from the start. And then by the time that the game actually became like really fun, everyone was already really good that kept on playing the game. So that's why I went back to the game and I had my fun with it, but I didn't stick to it. But I'm really looking forward to putting some time into Street Fighter 6 whenever it's out. So, if you don't care about Street Fighter, that's totally fine. Just let the Street Fighter people have their day. With the reveal of Street Fighter, I mentioned that it's going to be good not only for the Street Fighter community, but whenever there's a really popular Street Fighter game, it's good for the entire fighting game community. And the general reaction to Street Fighter 6 was very, very positive, except for the logo, which I think we could all agree is basic as bitch logo. It sucks. I think everyone could agree with that. But a lot of people really like the new animation style, art style, whatever you want to call it, a little bit more realistic than in previous Street Fighter games. And it looks good, man. I can't wait to see more information about that game. And the reason why I say that the future fighting games is looking really bright is because King of Fighters just came out. I still haven't played online because I haven't played a King of Fighters game like a lot or put any time into it since I was like 10 years old. So it's been difficult for me to memorize the combos. Like I have my combos that I want to do. Memorizing them is something that's going to take me a little bit of time, but don't worry, I'll be playing online at some point. But King of Fighters 15 just came out. A lot of people are really happy with that game. Guilty Gear Strive is absolutely amazing. I suck at it. I just couldn't really get into it as much as a game like DNF Duel, which I'm going to talk about. But that game is incredibly popular, and I'm very happy about that. I have a lot of fun watching it. It's really good. It's like a Evo main game worthy type of game. It's so good. It's so much fun. It's beautiful. Might be the most beautiful fighting game of all time. And then you have games like Project L, a League of Legends fighting game. One of the biggest franchises in gaming history. One of the biggest intellectual properties in video game history is coming out with a fighting game in the future that looks like it's a tag-based fighting game with active tag mechanics like Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite had some of the best actual like gameplay in a versus series ever. So Project L's in the horizon. And then the big one for us is potentially a Mortal Kombat 12. Just think about that for a second. All those games that I mentioned, Project L, Street Fighter 6, those games coming out in the future, whatever NetherRealm is cooking, hopefully is MK12. At this point, it has to be MK12, or it has to be something that is crazier than that. I don't think it's going to be Injustice anymore. I really don't. I think it has to be an MK12, or it has to be something absolutely insane, like a Marvel versus DC fighting game, something like that. Or maybe Mortal Kombat versus DC 2. I doubt that would happen. But it's looking more like Mortal Kombat 12. Plus, you have the current fighting games right now that have just been released and are doing amazing. Man, if you're a fan of fighting games, the next couple of years are going to be absolutely amazing. And I didn't even mention DNF Duel, which was the absolute shocker to me, because I had no expectations going into DNF Duel. And I got to say, man, it's probably the most exciting fighting game that I've played in a really long time. Ever since like Dragon Ball FighterZ, I had that feeling playing that game, just that the online was actually really good. Yeah, I haven't even mentioned, obviously, Dragon Ball FighterZ is getting Android 21, lab coat. It's still popping. A lot of people are still playing Dragon Ball FighterZ. Many other fighting games too. Things are stacked, and they're looking to be even more stacked in the future. I just wanted to make this video to talk about fighting games because with the announcement of Street Fighter 6, I just got a lot of hype and a lot of excitement for the future. And it's going to be crazy for us as NetherRealm fans when NetherRealm actually decides to announce their new fighting game. God damn. If you thought I was hyped for Street Fighter 6, I'm going to tears are going to be rolling down my eyes. I'm going to be fucking screaming. The cops are going to be called to my house because somebody is going to think that somebody's getting killed. That's how loud I'm going to get. Because we've been waiting for a new game for a while. And, for a lot of you guys who might only like NetherRealm games, it might come as a shock to you guys that most fighting games actually wait a really long time before they release a new fighting game. Like, we're very lucky, and we're actually spoiled at the fact that we got used to getting a new fighting game every 2 years. I mean, Tekken came out around the same time as Street Fighter 6, right? Like 6 years ago. Street Fighter 5 came out like 6 years ago. Normally, fighting games wait a really long time before they get a new one. So we've actually been spoiled, and that's why we're like clamoring for a new one. But I know it's coming. I know NetherRealm is definitely hard at work. I wanted to talk about MK12 a little bit, or the new NetherRealm game, because something must have happened. Something must have happened during the course of 2020, probably. When there was rumors of WB games being sold off and stuff like that. Something behind the scenes must have happened that has caused a huge delay in NetherRealm announcing their new game. There has to be something in the background that caused this delay, because the way NetherRealm works on their fighting games, I don't know if any other company does this, but I know Ed Boon has confirmed this himself. I'll use MK11 as an example. So when before Injustice 2 was released, the concept and the planning of Mortal Kombat 11 was already underway. So before Injustice 2 released in 2017, or was it 16? I think it was 16, right? No, I think it was 2017. When Injustice 2 was about to be released, whatever year it was, I think it was 2017. Mortal Kombat 11 was already being, maybe not made, but the brainstorming of Mortal Kombat 11 was already being thought of. Mortal Kombat 11 was already being planned to be the next fighting game before Injustice 2 came out. So that's how like the NetherRealm games work, based on what Ed Boon has said in previous interviews. So before MK11 came out, there was already a game that was being planned and worked on or brainstormed before MK11 was out. So the fact that it's taken this long tells me that it must have been Injustice 3, but at some point, plans were switched to make it MK12. That's what I'm thinking, to be honest with you guys, because it has taken a really long time, and I'm sure it's not the fault of NetherRealm Studios because they're working under WB Games. There was, possibilities of a sell-off. So there's a lot in the back that we have absolutely no idea about. But, that's what I'm thinking in the long run, because there's been so many chances to get a reveal of the next NetherRealm game, the biggest one being the Game Awards that just happened a couple months ago. I told you guys, if nothing was announced there, then there is nothing in sight. There is no big event in sight to reveal the new NetherRealm game until like E3, which is, I think, in August. No, I think it's in June, right? Somewhere around there. But man, that's a long ways away. And of course, Capcom had their Capcom Cup final. That's why a lot of us knew that the announcement was probably going to be Street Fighter 6. That's a huge tournament. The end of the tournament, show off that announcement. NetherRealm doesn't have any of that. So we're just going to have to sit patiently and wait. But man, it's going to be interesting when the NetherRealm game does get announced. It's going to be really interesting to see, first off, what it's going to be, which I think it's going to be MK12. Everything just points to an MK12. Based on the fact that it's been delayed this long, tells me that there must have been a switch in plans from what was being worked on before MK11 came out, maybe Injustice 3, who knows, to whenever they change plans to potentially go for MK12. I'm not saying that this is what is happening and that would happen, but that's what I'm thinking, because it's been such a huge delay, and NetherRealm is very efficient with their games and how they do things. They're very efficient. That's why they make so much fucking money. Other than Smash Brothers, like Ultimate, fucking NetherRealm pretty much destroys every other fighting game in sales. It's crazy. Like, every game that NetherRealm puts out sells, is always one of the top selling games, and is like the only fighting game there, other than when Smash Ultimate came out, because it's fucking Smash Brothers. So, man, just thinking about it, I'm like, I wonder what happened in the background. I wonder what's going on in the background. And, why such a big delay? Because NetherRealm is very efficient. And even if they wanted to give MK11 an extra year, it's definitely been that pretty much already. They don't wait like an exact 3 years to announce it. They let the game be out for that long, but by the time it gets to being, let's just say the 2-year life cycle, there has already been an announcement for the new one. So even if they gave this game an extra year, that being 3 years coming up here in, when did it get released? April? There would have already been like an announcement. That's why a lot of us were really excited about the Game Awards. That was like the perfect situation. Didn't get anything. But, man, I'm curious to see what NetherRealm is cooking. What are they doing back there? It must be something crazy. I mean, a Mortal Kombat 12, honestly, is crazy because they have Injustice, right? So, a new Mortal Kombat game, I think we would all be over the moon for a Mortal Kombat 12. It's just going to be interesting to see when they do reveal their game and there's interviews and there's questions about, hey, what's going on? I mean, they probably have NDAs and stuff, but we'll probably be able to get a good idea of what happened kind of behind the scenes a little bit based on, some of the answers. It's going to be really interesting. But I'm pretty much making this video just to talk about how excited I am as a fighting game fan and how excited you all should be as fighting game fans. Even if you don't like any of the other games that I mentioned, you just like NetherRealm games, Mortal Kombat, Injustice, you should be hype and happy about the potential growth of the fighting game community over the next couple of years. There's going to be a lot of new players coming in that love Street Fighter, but maybe didn't like Street Fighter 5 in Street Fighter 6. People from the Dungeon Fighters community get your ass in here for DNF Duel. People who are fans of League of Legends, get your ass in here for Project L. And of course, Mortal Kombat always brings in new players. Mortal Kombat has always had incredible views on YouTube, on Twitch. There's always people who are really excited for new Mortal Kombat games. So the future is very, very bright for the fighting game community, and I can't wait. I can't wait. Anything related to any of those fighting games that I mentioned that I'm really excited about, I'll keep you guys updated, especially if NetherRealm announces like literally anything. But other than that, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you guys so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did and you aren't subscribed already, make sure you guys do so. And if you want to see some more, there's videos popping up on the screen right now. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.